Hey everyone, welcome to English Boost Zone. In today's podcast, we are going to overcome the fear of starting conversation with others in English. Let me tell you a story about starting conversations. You know what? I remember my first day at English class. I was so nervous. I wanted to talk to people, but I didn't know how to start. Maybe you feel the same way sometimes. But here's the good news. Starting a conversation is not magic, it's a skill, and anyone can learn it. I learned two simple secrets that changed everything for me. Be curious and be kind, that's it. When you're curious, you have questions. When you're kind, people want to answer you. So let me share what I learned. The first thing I discovered was this: you don't need fancy words, you just need simple openers, things like "Hi, how are you?" or "Hello, nice to meet you." Or even "Excuse me, do you know where the library is?" Sometimes I just said, "Nice weather today, isn't it?" Or "I like your backpack, where did you get it?" These are short, they're simple, and they work because they're easy to answer. Let me tell you what happened on my first day. I walked into class, saw someone sitting alone, and I said, "Hi, I'm Tom. Is this your first day too?" She smiled and said, "Yes, I'm a little nervous. How about you?" I said, "Me too. Which class are you taking first?" And just like that, we were talking. It was that simple. Name plus question plus friendly tone, that's the magic formula. And just like that, we were talking. It was that simple. Name plus question plus friendly tone, that's the magic formula. Now, another thing I learned: you can comment on what you see around you. One day I was at a coffee shop. I smelled someone's coffee and I said, "That coffee smells great. What did you order?" The person smiled and told me all about their favorite drink. We talked for 10 minutes. Or sometimes I say things like, "This place is crowded today," or "I like the song they're playing. Do you know it?" These comments are natural. You're just talking about what's there, it's easy. But here's the tricky part I discovered. Starting is one thing, keeping the conversation going is another thing, so I learned a secret: use W questions. Who, what, where, when, why, how. For example, someone told me they like football. I asked, "Which team do you support?" They mentioned a movie. I asked, "What did you like most about it?" They talked about traveling. I asked, "Where did you go?" And I always listen, really listen. Then I ask about what they just said. I show I'm listening by saying simple things like, "Oh, really?" Or "That's interesting," or "Tell me more," or "Wow, that sounds fun." I remember one time at a party, I saw someone with a cool t-shirt. I said, "Hi, I love your t-shirt. Is that a band?" They said, "Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's the Red Rivers. I went to their concert last year." I asked, "Nice, how was the concert?" It was amazing. The energy was great and they played my favorite songs. Then I asked, "Which song did they play that you liked most?" "Summer Streets," the crowd sang with them. See what happened? I asked 3 follow-up questions. Each one grew the conversation. It felt natural. Now let me share the safe topics I use. These are easy and comfortable, whether school or work, food and coffee, movies and music, sports, hobbies, and things happening right now. But I learned to avoid some topics early, like politics, religion, money, and very personal questions. These can be sensitive. I save them for later when I know someone better. Something else I discovered: how you say things matters. I always smile when I talk. I don't speak too quietly or too loudly. I face the person, I make comfortable eye contact, not a stare, and I nod when they talk. I also match their energy. If they're quiet, I stay calm. If they're excited, I get excited too. This makes people feel comfortable. Let me share some phrases I use all the time. Easy ones like "Nice to meet you" and "How are you doing?" and "What do you do?" and "Where are you from?" If I don't understand, I say, "Could you say that again, please?" Or "I'm sorry, I didn't understand." When I want to sound a bit more natural, I use phrases like "That sounds interesting." Tell me more, or I hadn't thought about it that way, or that's a good point. Now here's something important. You need to end conversations politely too. I learned this the hard way. I used to just walk away awkwardly. Now I say things like, it was nice talking to you, or I should get going, but I enjoyed this, or see you in class, or enjoy the rest of your day. Don't be afraid to end. People actually like a clear, polite ending. Different places need different openers, I discovered. At college, I ask, are you in Professor Smith's class? Or would you like to study together? At work, I say, hi, I'm new here, or can I ask how you manage this project? At a party, I ask, how do you know the host? Or have you tried the dessert? In line somewhere, I say, is this seat free? Or it's busy today, isn't it? Let me give you my simple checklist. This is what I do every time I meet someone new. First, I smile and say hello. Second, I say my name and ask theirs. Third, I make a simple comment or compliment. Fourth, I ask a W question. Fifth, I listen and respond. Sixth, I ask a follow-up question. Seventh, if it goes well, I suggest meeting again. And finally, I end politely. This checklist changed my life. You know what? Many learners worry about mistakes. I worried too, but making mistakes is part of learning. Most people are kind, really. If I forget a word, I describe it, like it's the thing you use to write on paper. People always help. Sometimes I say I'm looking for the English word for, and people jump in, and that's a chance to learn. So here's my challenge for you. Try this today. Say one short opener to someone, a classmate, a person at a coffee shop, anyone. Start small. I started small, and small steps made a big difference for me. Remember my two secrets: be curious and be kind. That's all you need. I believe in you. You can do this. Starting conversations changed my English learning journey. It made me confident, it gave me friends, it made learning fun. So go out there and try. Good luck and keep speaking. Thanks for listening to my story. Now go make your own conversation story. See you next time. Keep practicing and have fun with your conversations.